Hello, my name is Señorita Erika and I work for San Mateo County Libraries. And today's program is part of the STEAM Camp program series, which has STEAM-related video content Monday through Thursday and Saturdays at 11 a.m. for early learners and at 1 p.m. for elementary-aged learners. We also have many of these STEAM videos on our YouTube channel, and we also have other virtual programs on our YouTube channel as well. If you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can go to smcl.org. There you go, smcl.org, where you can find the information on what types of videos we have on our channel and how you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, today's program was inspired by a book, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can all see which book this experiment came from in case you'd like to place a hold on it and do some of the other experiments mentioned in the book. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen. And today's experiment was inspired by Mason Jar Science by Jonathan Adolph, published by Workman Publishing Company. Okay, so this is the book where we got the science experiment that we're going to do today. So now, again, that's Mason Jar Science by Jonathan Adolph. Publishing company is Workman Publishing Company. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some of the ingredients we're going to need for today's program. And today's program is called Water Fireworks. How exciting does that sound, water fireworks? I think it sounds very exciting, and I'm very excited to see what the program is going to look like. So first, let's go over what we're going to need. We are going to need a quart-sized mason jar. Now, if you don't have a mason jar, just anything that you would have at home that's about similar size to a quart-sized mason jar would work, okay? But so either a quart-sized mason jar or something else that you have at home that's about similar size to a quart-sized mason jar. So I'm gonna put that aside. We're also gonna need a half-pint mason jar. Okay, so we're gonna need a smaller mason jar. Again, if you don't have a mason jar, if you have something at home that's about similar size to a half-pint mason jar, that would also work. I'm gonna put these next to each other here. We're also going to need some vegetable oil. So I have my vegetable oil here. And then I have a backup in case I need more because I have very little left in this one. So that's why I have two. But you only need one, okay? So I have my vegetable oil here. And then we're also gonna need different colors of food coloring. So I have my food coloring here. I have a little bit of red, have a little bit of green, and I have a little bit of blue here, okay? So I have my 3 different food coloring colors over here. And we are also going to need a fork. So I have my fork right here that I am going to use, okay? So the last thing we are going to need is water. So we're just gonna need room temperature water. So I am going to get my water over here. And here we go. Okay, so one last time, the ingredients we're gonna need is room temperature water. So I have my room temperature water here. We are gonna need vegetable oil. So I have my vegetable oil here. We are gonna need food coloring and we're gonna need different colors. So I have a red one, a blue one, and a green one right here. We're gonna need a fork. I have my fork ready. And we are going to need a quart-sized mason jar or something that you have at home that's about the same size as a quart-sized mason jar. And we are going to need we are going to need a half-pint mason jar or something at home that's about similar size to a half-size mason jar, okay? So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quart-sized mason jar and we're gonna fill it with room temperature water and we're just gonna leave an inch of space on the top. Now, if you don't know what an inch of space looks like, let me get my ruler here. So I have my ruler here. I have my inches up here. And so here's 1 inch. So this is what 1 inch of space looks like. So if I use that here, this way against my mason jar, then I would see that 1 inch of space is about right there. So that's how much, that's where I'm going to stop filling it with water. Okay. If you don't have a ruler at home, if you want to grab your adult and just ask them to tell you up until where you can fill your jar up with water so that you have 1 inch of space, that would also be fine. Okay, so I'm going to start filling it up with water. Here we go, and this is just regular room temperature water. So we're going to fill it until there's only about 1 inch of space, so about right there. And then we're going to put our water aside. Now we're going to take our smaller mason jar, the 1/2 pint mason jar, and we're going to pour in 2 ounces of the vegetable oil. Let's see. And the nice thing about the mason jars is that some of them are marked on the side, so they have little lines and they tell you how much that is. So this one has ounces on this side. So I can see that 2 ounces is up to that little line right there. So it lets me know. Again, if you don't have a mason jar, if you're using a different jar, go ahead and ask your adult to point to where 2 ounces would be, so you know up to where you can fill the vegetable oil until, so that you only have the 2 ounces. So I'm going to see if I have enough vegetable oil here. Let's see. We are going to and I'm just a little shy of the 2 ounces. So I'm going to open the new bottle and just pour just a tiny little bit more so that I get the 2 ounces that I need. Just tiniest little bit. And there we go. So there I have my 2 ounces of vegetable oil. And I'm going to close my vegetable oil because I don't want it to spill. So I'm going to close it. I'm going to put it to the side. And now we are going to put little drops of food coloring into the oil. Okay. So I'm going to start off with my green, but you can start off with whatever color you want. And remember, we want to get a few different colors in there. Okay, so I have my green. Now I'm going to add some red. Okay, and now I'm going to add some blue. And it looks like I don't have that much green, so I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit more of the green food coloring. And let's see if can you see the food coloring in there? Just looks like little drops. Okay. And now what we're going to do is you're going to get your fork. You're going to run the fork gently through the oil. Now this part's very important. You don't want to over mix. So you want to have some drops that are big and others that are small. So you're just going to gently run your fork in the oil just to mix the colors up a little bit. And again, you don't want to over mix. So I can see I'm starting to get some smaller circles. And I have one really big one. And then, so I have a mix of some small and some little ones. I'm gonna see if I can get it close to the screen, the camera, so you can see. It's kind of hard to see, but I have some small ones and some big ones in there. Okay, so I'm gonna stop because again, it's very important. You don't wanna over mix it. And so then you're gonna look in there and you're just gonna see you have a few different size colored blobs of food coloring. And that's exactly what we want. So we're gonna put the fork over here to the side. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our water jar over here and we're gonna pour the oil into the water jar. And we're gonna do it as close as we can to the side because we want it to go down to the side and sort of gently float on top of the water. So you don't wanna just pour it in just really quickly. You wanna do it slowly and you wanna try to get it as close to the side as you can, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna start pouring the oil. I'm gonna try to get as close to the side as I can. And there we go. And if you can see, it looks like the color is starting to slowly go down into the water. So it looks a little like fireworks, water fireworks. Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording to change. Okay, and here we go. Can you see some of the food coloring is slowly still going down the jar down here? Let's see if I can get it closer. Let me try to get, can you see the swirls of color in there? So that's there you go, the food coloring that's slowly going down from the oil into the water. So it's very cool. It's your own water fireworks at home. Now let's talk a little bit about the science behind this while the water fireworks are going on. So the food coloring does not dissolve in oil. So at first it sits right on the surface of the water held by the oil. But eventually it drops down from the oil and hits the layer of water. And once it does, the color dissolves, and that's when you get to see the nice, colorful result. Look at that, it's still going. So that is the science behind the water fireworks, which are still going on. And it looks very, very nice. You can see the water dissolving, and you can see the oil on the top, which is a different color from the water underneath, which is now sort of bluish because of the water coloring. There you go. It's a little hard to see, but you can, when it gets the big sort of blobs and you can see it, but there's a bunch of thin little colors also swirling around in the water. So it looks very, very nice. So that is our experiment today, water fireworks. Now, let me just pause it to change the angle of the screen again. Okay, good, we can see each other again. Okay, so this was the water fireworks experiment, which was very cool, and it's still sort of going down. So now that's the end of our experiment for today. But before we leave, I wanted to remind you that it's summer, which means that the library has its Summer Learning Challenge going on. Now, the Summer Learning Challenge, one of the really cool things about it is that once you join, you have a chance to win $1,000 scholarship, which would be amazing, right? $1,000 scholarship. I think that's amazing. Now, in order to sign up, or if you have any questions, you can go to this website, summerlearners.org, and you can sign up there, and then you can, if you have any questions, the answers will most likely be on this website, summerlearners.org. Okay. Also, if you do this experiment at home and take pictures or video, we would love for you to share them with us on social media. And with that being said, that's the end of today's experiment. So until next time, bye.